Now, the rest of the story.
Hey, welcome back. I kind of feel like I owe you guys a little bit of a catch-up or an update video. If you guys have noticed, the last several videos were, well, they were all within a matter of probably 2 or 3 days. For reference, I've been done chiseling for about a week. It is, what is it? It is April 25th. So yeah, my videos, I've been behind on videos, I guess you could say, to a certain degree. I'm not sure what the best way is to just explain it. I just took a lot of video of us on the day that we did oats and then the nights that I was chiseling. As far as the odds and ends of everything that's been going on around here, I haven't been filming the last couple days just to try to get caught back up on that backlog I had. As far as there's a lot of good videos, a lot of good quality videos worth taking, all in the matter of a couple days there. And I don't like posting more than one video a day. I want to keep it just simple. I'm trying to keep it just one video on one topic per day, because once I start getting carried away uploading 2 or 3 videos a day, I'm not entirely sure if everyone is watching them. I'm not entirely sure if everybody's able to follow the timeline that I want you guys to watch them, because I do try to upload my videos in a manner that it does kind of follow the timeline, follows the storyline as things are happening around here. I know storyline kind of sounds kind of corny as far as keeping you guys, trying to keep the videos coming out in the order that I actually filmed them. At least I'm trying to. As far as chiseling goes, somebody jinxed me. You guys, that last night I had so much issues. That was the night that I ran over my camera. I don't know if I've said it up to this point yet, but whoever jinxed me saying that one of the tires was getting bad on the chisel plow, that was getting low. I actually did have a slice along the sidewall on one of them. I managed to get done chiseling that night. I saw the tire was getting low when I came back through the gates, and when I came out the next morning, because I needed the VT or the 82 to run the VT the next day, the tire was flat. So currently the chisel plow is stranded down at my place, and that is on my list of things to do right now. That's the problem we're having, is that we have a lot of odds and ends to do. We've run cattle through the chute. That's why I'm working on this. I put my foot through the window here about an hour ago, so I had to use the handyman secret weapon, duct tape, a little cardboard in there too, just for filler. That is not a long-term fix. I sincerely hope that I don't leave it in there long-term. I actually found a piece of steel back there that's not super heavy. I may just go ahead and fashion something the size of that hole of that window. To be honest, we do not do a lot of fancy dancy feed mixing around here. When we do it, it's usually pulling corn out of the silo, and then typically I get a load of concentrate, a load of calf feed to add into the steer or the feed mill, that I typically pull out 8 to 10 buckets depending on the ration I'm using, and then I just dump it in probably 2 buckets at a time as it's filling up. I do not, that's one thing I learned with this feed mixer, is that when you fill your additives, I'm just going to go ahead and say, when you do that, and this thing is dirty, it's sat all winter, so it needs well, we run it the first time, it'll get all shut up. But if you put everything in at once, what happens is it all sits in one spot. It doesn't mix thoroughly like I'd like to see it. So what I typically try to do is 2 buckets at a time, throw 2 buckets in, keep filling, 2 buckets, 2 buckets, 2 buckets. So you get a little bit of a layering. So as far as following these windows, the only ones that truly do matter are the top ones, so we know that we are getting full. The gator, yeah, I guess you could say the hood is up. I gotta be careful getting into the machine shed because my GoPro does not pick up low lighting. The gator is getting its oil changed. I'm gonna put oil back in that as soon as I shut the camera off. The trailer, oh my gosh. This thing is super duper awesome. Mainly just because that, and we knew we would, but this may be in our top 5 best purchases ever. We use it all the time now. It's so much handier than the gooseneck. Yes, we do have a 5th wheel hitch gooseneck trailer, that is ours. It's really unhandy because it's got the beaver tail with the individual ramps on them, and that's such a hassle for loading and unloading and throwing those ramps around, and it's taller and everything like that. Hooking it, unhooking it and everything, especially for doing just simple 5-10 minute jobs or 15-minute jobs with it. This thing, Dad has wanted something like this for a long time, and he bought it right. For how heavy it's built, it's a 14 ton. This thing is worth it. This is going to be the 2nd load of steel that this thing is hauled. Gradually cleaning out this side of the machine shed. I'm planning on cleaning out the rest of the junk tomorrow to take to the trash guy. The generator is going to get moved back over to the other side of the machine shed. That's there for anybody that's wondering, for convenience, because in the middle of winter, and it has actually happened, if the power goes out or we get a big nasty ice storm, like we did have one to a certain degree, and we lose power, at least we can readily get to the generator and at least hook it up. At least we have power around here. The goal is to get all this cleaned back up and gone. All the cardboard and stuff is pretty well ready to go. Planning on taking that to the scrapyard tomorrow. And then the plan is to get this organized up again so we can get the Gator in here. My 4-wheeler is currently up here right now, and that's basically just because I like my 4-wheeler too. It's handy. I mean, the Gator is a mini truck, but you can't beat the versatility of a 4-wheeler. And sometimes when you just want to go out and cruise the fields, just coast along, sometimes it is nicer just to enjoy the breeze, enjoy the air. But this, I'm gonna let you guys get the full grasp of the weather we have right now. This is exactly what makes the winters worth it in Southwest Wisconsin. There's a slight breeze. It is starting to get a little bit cool. I gotta go find my hat. But it was 66 degrees today. Blue sky and beautiful. And you really can't beat this. So I like it. I like it a lot. This is the type of weather that gets me to stay up here and hang around until it's dark out. There's a lot of odd jobs that I'm trying to get done between the Gator. I really was planning on trying to fill this up with feed yet tonight. Problem is, it is going to be dark in about another half hour, and it's not really going to be worth it to this point. The plan was to put that steer stuffer in out at my brother's place. Because those cattle have been run to the chute, we don't have to worry about sorting them out or mixing anybody up and running the risk of anybody getting out so they get on full feed or overeat on grain. So at least now we are able to put the steer stuffer in and put them on full feed for a while. The only problem is that that's one of those jobs that we can keep bucketing it, and at least it'll get us through planting, at least for the time being. Planting, maybe we should finish up talking about the planter. I think everybody's itching for this. There are guys planting. There is corn or soybeans. There's corn and soybeans in the ground. We probably could have been planting the first part of the week, or shall I say about a week ago when I was filming the oats, when we were seeding oats in, we could have been planting corn. And I think along with the insurance date, I think that was like the 15th of April. So we very well could have, but with the weather conditions now, the soil warming up, the planter is more than likely going to be running here in the next day or two. If you guys are lucky, for those that are getting really excited about us planting, it might be as soon as tomorrow in relation to the video, because I might not film too much more. I don't know, don't hold me to it. As far as planting, I did have a seed firmer that was actually cracked, but I had the fertilizer line here is connected up underneath here. I could have taken off this whole gauge wheel and gotten to it really easy, but when it was only one seed firmer, I toughed it out and I did it in about 10 minutes. if I had to do the whole planter, I probably would have had Ryan just go through and pull all these wheels off for me. That's what we did when we put it back together. The seed insecticide boxes are pretty much there for show. The chain is no longer there. Yeah, for anybody, the person that was asking why we can't put seed in the insecticide boxes and just carry more seed and put the seed down, I'm pretty sure that's what you were asking, as far as putting the seed down with the insecticide boxes too, and changing the rate on our regular seed rows. You can't do that. The reason being is that the delivery system between the seed boxes and the insecticide are completely different. The seed, it is metered out by this contraption up in here, and then it is fed down through a seed tube into the trench. The insecticide, that is meant for granular products, it is filtered out through a rate system, which is relatively straightforward. It's just the same kind of metering system you see on the grain drill, where it's just the wheel that is spinning at a set rate, and it comes down this tube, and this is what it comes out of. It is literally just dropping on top of the soil. So as far as putting seed in there, not really feasible. As far as putting seed bags in there, like bags of seed, I guess you could open the tops up and just set 12 bags of seed across the whole thing, but for what you're gaining, on an extreme instance where you were really desperate to have that much seed on hand, like right there with you, say if, well, it happens around here where you don't have someone else here to help, say if Ryan or Dad or I, say the person running the planter is pretty well running by themselves, which is a kind of a common occurrence. Say if Dad's planting, Ryan's working ground ahead of him, and I, which is probably going to happen, I got a bunch of stuff down at my place I want to do with that JCB, and I haven't had a chance to do it because every time it dries out or it gets to where I can actually go ahead and do it, something else more important than that actually comes up. I haven't had a chance to really run with that machine yet. I'd like to. I'm going to. Don't you worry about that. I'm planning on getting footage of that. I just haven't. What little bit of filming I did with it really doesn't amount to much. But as far as the 4640 goes, I went through. I made all the connections. The fertilizer pump is hooked up. This O-ring here for this, Dad and I actually went up to the local red dealership, and they found us an O-ring that would work. It still leaked a little bit, but I actually cranked on it just a little bit more, and at least it's sealing up. I'm just waiting to see. I haven't seen if it'll leak once I actually put pressure on it with the pump. This is all the overwinter fluid, so it doesn't freeze, that RV overwintering stuff. I'm planning on running water through it tomorrow. I'm planning on pressure washing it off tomorrow. Tractor windows got to get cleaned off. The back end cleaned up. I got to get the hydraulic lines for the marker arms and folding the frame out hooked up. And the, ow. Oh, that felt great. And I got to get the line up to the GPS globe set up to run. So the plan is to be running here in the next couple days. I might just do you guys a favor and not film anything from here on out until we start planting. You guys might appreciate that. So we'll have to see. The 4640, it runs. It's hasn't given us any issues. I want to comment on this starter. I was told to go with the gear reduced motor or starter, that it turns quicker, it starts the engine faster, it turns the engine faster. Holy crap. You guys and my friend that talked me into doing it, you guys weren't kidding. That first couple times when you crank that off, I mean, it is almost, but pretty much about as instantaneous as it can get as far as starting this tractor up. That's really impressive. It's kind of we had to do a little bit of farmer fixing. I'm not about to pull this back off, but what Dad ended up having to do, we actually had some lines here that ran down here. It came from up above. It wasn't quite long enough, so Dad actually had to solder on a few more inches of wire. to at least make it work, and it does really well. I was kind of skeptical when he was working on it, just because there's a lot going on right here. That's all underneath the shields right now, but there's a lot of wires, because these are for our monitor and the guidance and the auto track. That's for all that. And yeah, it's getting kind of busy under there. So if you guys are curious what a Southwest Wisconsin sunset looks like, that's where she is, or what she looks like. And I got to tell you what, when that sun goes down, I got to go home and see what the wife is up to. I think it's pretty obvious that I'm not nearly as mean to Brittany as everybody thinks I am, unless everybody's joking when they're making their comments. But there's nothing going on, or nothing wrong going on between me and Brittany. We just make fun of each other, because don't let her fool you. She looks cute and innocent, but she likes making fun of me just as much, if not more, than I make fun of her. So that's a healthy relationship. So one last pan of the lot here. Yeah, that doesn't get old, does it? And the outro is, you guys are watching the rest of the story. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate your support of this channel. I honestly didn't think I'd be here still doing YouTube today, since I started back in 17. I'm going to keep posting as long as everybody wants me to keep posting, which there seems to be plenty of demand for that. So take care, take it easy, keep in touch. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow night. Bye.